My name is Ashim Kumar. I'm a physician at Western Fertility Institute in Encino, California, which is near LAX. It's about 15-20 minutes in Los Angeles, away from the airport in Los Angeles. We are a different kind of fertility clinic. So what we do is everything from start to finish, including egg donors and surrogacy. So the path typically starts by making a consultation appointment, either in person, on Skype, on WeChat. And when we get started, we'll go over the entire process. But it will require usually a visit to the clinic, or if you want, we can actually get sperm frozen locally and shipped out to LA. So we have donors available. We have an egg bank as well. And if you guys want to use your own donors, we can do that. It's quite easy. We work with all the different donor agencies and surrogacy agencies. What we do try to do is to provide very specific steps to your path, because I think this is really a very big undertaking, and we're going to try to provide you a lot of assistance. So the first thing we do is to give you a third-party representative, and that person's going to be with you from start to finish. So if you have any questions, be it you need to schedule a brief consult with me, or you need some help with the delivery, you need a place to stay, you need a nanny for a couple of weeks, whatever it is, we'll help arrange that for you. Okay, so we started this clinic about 3 years ago, and it focuses on third-party reproduction, basically what you guys need. So like I said, we'll get the donor, we'll make the embryos, and then we do PGS testing on all of our embryos. I was at a talk, I think about a month ago, and there was a physician that said that 10% of their embryos go through harm through the biopsy process, and that is not true at our clinic. It's less than 1%. So we biopsy thousands and thousands of embryos every year, and the experience that we have biopsying embryos is immense. In fact, our lab director, Dr. Lee Mann, used to go around the country teaching people how to do biopsies, and she still does that. So we don't damage our embryos by biopsying them, and we do improve our pregnancy rates. So once the embryos are made and PGS tested, then we email you the report, and if you want, we'll schedule a consult with me. We can go over it, tell you what the report means. And quite often what people have questions about is the grading of the embryos. What's the difference between a 4AA or a 4AB? And we can go through that in great detail. And then we'll talk about surrogacy as well. When you guys come to LA, one of the meetings that you'll have is with myself. We'll get your blood, sperm, urine, send that away for testing. You'll also meet with a donor if you like. We can arrange that. We have quite a lot of gay parents that want an ongoing relationship, especially they want their children to be able to meet their donor in the future. And so if you guys want, we can arrange that either in person or in Skype, depending on where the donor is located. And then you also meet with some surrogate candidates. The candidates, you can go have a cup of coffee, meet them at their home. All kinds of various options are available. You'll meet with lawyers, the lawyer that will represent you with the surrogate, and also a lawyer that will be taking care of your funds. So all of your funds are held in escrow, which is incredibly safe. In case anything happens to the clinic, to whomever, your funds are safe. Every month you get an update on how much you have, where each dollar was spent. And so once we have the embryos made, then we match you with a surrogate usually, because we can match you at any time, but the sooner we match you, the sooner you start paying for the monthly stipend and the health insurance. Once we have the embryos in hand, then you need the match. Before you have the embryos, then you're just wasting money. Okay. So then we find the surrogate, make sure she's appropriate for you. We get that legal done. That'll take several weeks. It can take up to a month. It depends on if there are holidays, who's out of town, etc. It usually takes about 2 weeks. And we have a list of lawyers that we work with. And the nice part about using somebody on that list is that they play well together. And it's very easy to get the contract done. We can use any fertility lawyer that you like, but if it's a new person to the mix, they may have some different ideas that are kind of difficult to get through in a contract. We will, once we do the embryo transfer, your third-party representative will be in the room. She can either FaceTime or WeChat you or record it and email you the video. The surrogate will be followed by me for the first 10, 11 weeks. Every time she comes to the clinic, we'll do an ultrasound for the heartbeat, first time the baby's moving. All that will be videoed and emailed to you. So that's already part of the process. You don't have to worry about how that's going to happen. All the way through the pregnancy, even after the pregnancy care is shifted to the OBGYN, we will continue to be there to give you updates. We talk to the surrogates weekly, and then when it comes time for the delivery, we will be there at the delivery to help choreograph what happens in the delivery room. Because it's going to be your first experience. It can be a little bit awkward. When do you get to hold a baby? Who gets to cut the cord? Do you guys get to be in the room? And so all of that needs to be choreographed beforehand so you can be told kind of what your role is going to be. And then afterwards, when you go home, we'll help you get the birth certificate, if need be, passports, all of those details as well. Okay. Let me open up to questions from you guys, and then we can go on to a little bit of a slideshow. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Where do you find that most of your surrogates and donors reside?
Okay. Our donors come from all over the world. Ayush, can you put up the donor website? Huh? So the donors we have, we work with, we market locally. We do a lot of advertising. We also work with a company called Global Egg Donors, so we fly them in from all over the world, including South Africa, UK, Iceland, Germany, everywhere. And then for our Chinese donors, quite often we get them from Taiwan, in mainland China. The surrogates, about 97, 98% of our surrogates are from California. And the reason we do that is because it's a very surrogacy-friendly state. And it's easy for us to send our employees there. But we do have surrogates across the U.S., but just less so. We do, I think last year we did, 250 surrogates? So it's a lot of people to keep track of and a lot of people to send out for deliveries. Any other questions, guys? Can you show? It's not working? Yeah. So we have a separate website. westernfertility.com is our main website, but there's a separate website called LA Egg Donors, and it's free to log on, and you can scroll through the list of donors that we have. I think part of the other thing that you guys might be worried about is success rates. Our success rates are some of the best in the nation. For the under 35 group, we are actually #1 in the nation at 73.7%. And for even if you go through the rest of the age groups, who are in the top 5 in every age group there is.
I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this, but this is a easier way to see the CDC data from 2016. And in the age group of under 35, we ranked first for the 2016 year, which is our first year as a clinic.
By the way, I also want to introduce everybody here. Can you guys come up also? So this is Sarah. She's one of our coordinators. This is Trudy. She heads our surrogate team. It's my son Ayush. It's a family affair here. And then you have JC and Joseph. They're helping us with our effort to kind of serve you guys. So they are also going to serve as liaisons. You guys want to introduce?
He's the main liaison.
He doesn't speak yet, but.
So this would be
This is the website,
the
yeah.
LA Egg Donor website. So we have a bank of donors who have already registered, and they have each have their own bio, along with a couple of key stats that help you kind of find what you're looking for. Otherwise, all of these have been tested and used in the past, so you know the quality's there.
He's good now. Yeah, so for our egg bank and for our program, we've only chosen proven donors. There's a lot of investment that has gone into creating the egg bank and also the donor pool. And when I go to Robin or when I go to the other agencies, let's say Taiwan or wherever, we try not to get donors that are first-time donors. We want somebody that's proven, hopefully multiple times, and is a high egg producer. Because a lot of you guys will want to be having 2 sperm donors. That means that 2 people are providing sperm to fertilize the eggs. That means that we need to have high producers and a lot of eggs. That way we can assure that you guys are going to have enough embryos to have whatever gender you want from one cycle. And then we have leftovers in case we have a misstep, there's a miscarriage, anything happens. We don't ever have to pay for a brand new cycle. So that's the benefit. If you go through those profiles, you'll notice that each one has either an AMH or an antral follicle count. It's an AFC. And the AMH, we only take donors with an AMH greater than 3 nanograms per ml. That means we're going to be making at least 25 eggs, or antral follicle count greater than 20. So that's going to give you kind of a great deal of reassurance when you have many normal embryos each rather than just 1 or 2.
Do you have an acceptance rate?
Yeah, I'm sorry?
Do you have an acceptance rate, like, is there a certain percentage?
Oh, I think that's I don't keep track of that because my person that manages this, Caitlin, she gets so many emails every day, and she doesn't bother me with, she'll get.
It's very hard to get past them. So she likes to pick the front. Yeah. So everybody there is exceptional.
And even like for last month, we had 4 people fly in. This month, just from Robin, who heads Global Egg Donors, and we had, I think, 6 or 7 people fly in from Taiwan. And this month, we have 6 people flying in from Robin, and she has hundreds and hundreds of donors on her website, and we pick and choose the top, based on their looks, their intelligence, and their reproductive potential. So this is where, kind of having been in the field for a long time, I can tell you that quite often I get donor requests where somebody chooses a donor whose AMH might be 2 or 1.7 or 2.4, and you're like, please don't go there because you might get 1 or 2 normal embryos and then we're stuck. If everything works out, great, but if it doesn't work out, then there's a great deal of panic. And even just emotional reassurance, once you look at that report, you have 7 or 8 normal embryos, then you can just relax, right? If you have 1 or 2, then you're in panic, like what if it doesn't work out? We don't have that reserve. And so the acceptance rate, I think it's used as a gimmick. The quality's there and you can see it. And all of these are proven donors. They have their genetic screening done, and a lot of them already have eggs frozen away. So there's really nothing to say about acceptance rate. Go ahead.
Egg donor, just so you guys know, is also through Kumar and Western Fertility, and we ended up with 30 eggs, which gave us peace of mind.
And lots of them do.
And lots of them.
We have a busload of embryos.
We're holding him hostage now. Yes, sir.
I was wondering about unused embryos. What happens to them when you donate them to?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great question. So donating them to another couple, we have a program for that. There's a waiting list about 3 to 6 months long. Right now, we have a lot of couples that can't afford egg donation, or we have couples that desperately want like a 3rd or 4th child, and then they'd rather use donated embryos rather than go through the process themselves. The parameters, we allow each individual or couple to create their own parameters as to who they would donate to or who they would not donate to. So it's very individualized. Like I had a woman, she was going for her 2nd boy, and she had a lot of leftover embryos, and she said she only wanted to donate them to a single woman. And so any kind of parameters that you have, we're happy to respect it. And we do have you fill out your profile, and we have include the donor profile. So all that's made available to the couple that wants to adopt the embryos, or the individual that wants to adopt the embryos. So guys, we have 3 minutes.
Can you tell us about frozen eggs versus straddled eggs?
Sure, that's a great question. I was a big fan of fresh retrieval, And this was back before the days of validating the egg freezing process. So when egg freezing first started, people were doing it willy-nilly without ever showing that their technology worked. And what we did probably 5-6 years ago was we hired egg donors. We paid for the entire cycle. Then we gave those eggs for free to intended parents with the caveat that they had to use them right away. And our survival rate was 99%, fertilization 80%, and our overall live birth rate was 79%. So they work really well. Now, we've invested a great deal of money in the egg bank itself. And the only way we would do that is if we were sure that we can get pregnancies out of it. What my lab director told me, this is Friday, she said the national average is it takes 6 eggs to get 1 viable embryo. And right now we're running at 3 frozen eggs to get 1 viable embryo. So our technology definitely works. And it's
You would still encourage fresh recruitment.
It depends on what you're looking for. So let's say you're at the start of a journey and there are 2 people that want to be involved. A fresh cycle is going to be better, right? Or let's say you just want 1 more child and finances are really tight. Then you do frozen. It also depends on what you're looking for. Like some of my Chinese donors are incredibly expensive, $40,000, $50,000 just for the donor fee. And to get 30 eggs from her, be obscenely expensive. Why would you want to do it when you could get by with 8 eggs, right? So it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like if you sign up with a guaranteed packet with us, I'm not going to give you the entire cycle. I'm going to hold some in reserve because I don't know what's going to happen. It's an insurance policy for me, right? But I can tell you that frozen eggs for us are just as successful as fresh. Okay. Guys, this is about time. We do have some open slots for one-on-one consultations if you guys are interested. And we can also have JC and Joseph talk to you guys if you guys want to know more about their experience in the process. Okay. Thank you, guys.